Part 4 of this travelogue is pretty much dedicated to train travel. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I have good train service, and for a couple legs of this trip, the sound might be a bit shaky as I'm recording this late at night on the train, so bear with me. My bike and I arrived in Adelaide on February 17th. The train ride was 8 hours. It was actually very comfortable. The hills around the city look just like San Luis Obispo. Very, very dry. I see why they have big fires in the summer. I spent the night at a beach hostel, and I took a tram into Adelaide to see the sights. As in Melbourne, it's also a very interesting mix of new and old architecture. Adelaide has a gigantic produce market that was great. I'm still suffering sticker shock over Australian grocery prices, but there were some great deals here if you looked. This is the best I've eaten since arriving in Australia. The next day I rode up and down the beach areas. Great beaches, really, really white sand, as white as Carmel Beach. I kept seeing these shops throughout Australia, and I wasn't really paying attention. I sort of just assumed that they were maybe a Jiffy Lube or something. Turns out they're actually drive-through liquor stores or bottle shops, as they say. This is a standard deal here in Australia. Not really a true convenience store, just straight-out booze.
One of Australia's many drive-through bottle shops. Do you know what you need to drink?
Some sort of a cider.
You got to need to know what you drink before you go into one of these joints, because you're not allowed out.
And that's because what?
Because all the Aboriginals flog shit, so after 6 o'clock, that's it. No one's allowed out of their car. They have to buy from inside their car. Nah, it'll be fine. It's his first drive-through. It's his very first drive-through.
Don't happen somewhere else, or?
Not in America, they don't.
Really?
Nah.
Fair enough.
All right, man. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Last week I booked a ticket to Perth on the Indian Pacific train. This train has an uninterrupted line across the Nullarbor Plain, linking the east and west coasts of Australia. This transcontinental route makes the Indian Pacific one of the world's great train journeys. I got one of the cheap seats for this 2-day journey. Early in the trip, the car commandant laid down the line on showers.
Especially, I suppose the blokes just as bad as the ladies. Please, we're not on mains water. Please do not have 10-15 minute showers. Water runs everything. We've only got X amount of water. So what we're saying, if you do have a shower, make it short, sharp and shiny.
We have a very comfortable galley area. I spent most of my time in the lounge area meeting people and socializing. I also got a lot of work done on my little travel logs in this area. The desert is getting unprecedented rain as a result of cyclones on the coast. Apparently the area is unusually green and lush this time of year. The scenery varied from flat and desolate to tall trees, red dirt, and sage. Absolutely incredible scenery. The next morning we arrived in Perth. Stay tuned for later reports.